welcome back. Thank you for staying with us, dear viewers. Still talking about King Akhenaten and his capital, which, as Egyptologist Samir Abbass said, was situated perfectly in the heart of Egypt.
Exactly. So we talk about the advantage of the location, which is a location which is a vast area and at the same time cannot be flooded by the annual flood of the Nile River, or the chances is very low, and that's how he can preserve the city for a very long time. We talk about the urban landscape and how wide the streets and alleys, and he built a very nice palace, and he built a very big temple on the other side, and he connect both of them with pedestrian bridge across from his palace, and all of these things still you can go and see it today. And he also, within the same area, he built the tombs, which is the tombs is very important. If the city, that's for the people where they will live for 70 or 100 years, so the tombs, that's where their car lives for eternity. So there is a cleft overlooking this valley, and this cleft, limestone, reach more specific, and that was an ideal location for carving the tombs. So. And yeah, now we are speaking about, actually, that is north. That is the ruins of the temple, and that is some eclectic collection from photos from Tell Amarna. So Tell Amarna is still mostly buried underneath, and that's where the post of Nefertiti comes from, by the way. So, and back again to our virtual tour. I took you on a drive from the west road and from the east road, and then we made it to Amarna. And there, the site, when you go there, the site is divided into different zones. So the closest one to you, that will be the northern area that's close to the gate, and that's where the North Palace, and that's where the North tombs, the noblemen, the nobles, the North tombs. And then there is a central area, and there is the Royal Cemetery. The Royal Cemetery is a very narrow valley, which is very much like the Valley of the Kings, but in a smaller scale. At the end of this valley, there is the royal tomb. And what's make it different in Amarna is he designed a tomb not only for himself, like the rest of the ancient Egyptian kings, as a family tomb. And that will take us to the art in Amarna. Yes. So art in Amarna period is a very distinct art. So when you go to the museum, when you walk
by... Is it still preserved till now,
yes,
this art?
Yes, definitely, yes. That's how we know about them. So, and how we know about Akhenaten, that's another interesting story, because after his death, the priests of Amun, they made sure that they will destroy everything he made. So it was a coincidence that we knew about him, and this coincidence led a big passion to excavate more, and that's how we found his temples in part and pieces and being reconstructed. So back to the art. When you go to the Egyptian museum or any museums, when you walk by the ancient Egyptian kings' statues, you cannot make a physical recognition of them. You cannot know who's Ramses and who's Thutmose and who's Amenhotep. All of them looks like the same, because the art is an idealism. They tend to introduce their ideal looking, and when it comes to the ideal looking, everybody should have this healthy looking, the nice body, the perfect size of nose, and that's why it's very difficult to know who's what, except when it comes to Akhenaten. Once you see his art, it stands out. That is for Akhenaten, 100% sure. I don't need to read the text, the hieroglyphics on it. It is for sure it's for Akhenaten.
So how different was it?
Elongated head, long neck, a very sharp features, a body which is not symmetrically. So the body is, and the bottom is more like a woman body than a man, and the top like a man. And that was an art to stand out, and that was a subject of the biggest controversy. Let's talk about that first before moving to another very important aspect of the art. So there is many theories about that. That was a new attempt of realism during Akhenaten instead of idealism before, and the king was honest and transparent to show everybody his real looking. But when I made my first thesis research about Amarna art, and I made a field visit to the site, and I went to many of the nobles' tombs, I found that the nobles also have the same looking of body, which is, if the king, from genetics point of view, has this deformation of the body because he was a hermaphrodite, that's one of the theories, like a kind of disease, which is genetical disorder, which makes his body looks like that, like some of the early archaeologists said. That can be transmitted to his family members, to his sons and daughters, but not to the noblemen. And that's why I looked at another options. I came with a conclusion of, which is not me only, actually that was many other archaeologists as well, that could be an idealism but from different perspective. An idealism, he wants to represent himself as the human representation of Aton on earth. Aton is the first god, the god who created himself out of nothing, and out of his single body he created both man and woman, which is mean that Aton in the ancient beliefs of Akhenaton has the two sexes in his body, both male and females, and does
now
make
we
sense.
Get the link, yes.
And he wants to introduce himself as a living manifestation of that. So another thing which is very distinct in the art of Al-Amarna is the family scenes. He is very much into the family life. In all of his art, sitting relaxed with Nefertiti, his beloved wife, and calling her by very nice names and titles, playing with his daughters and distributing gifts among them, which is a kind of art you will not see in the classical Egyptian art back in that time. So this story came, the story and the sad end of the story is when he died or killed. We will not know until we know find his body for sure.
And he was young, he told us.
He was, yes, he was like in his 40s, I think, or mid-30s when he disappeared. And his city, the city of Amarna, has been cursed. That was the best way of the ancient Egyptian priests of Amun to say that nobody should go there. It was cursed. Nobody should go there, nobody should use the land. And also they gave the chance, they gave the permissions for people to go and pick any type of stones, ready-made and beautifully there. And that's what happens. The whole city has been recycled except for the foundations, which we found and we reconstruct. Another buildings he built in Luxor, in Karnak, has been cut into pieces and used as a filling material of another building in Karnak temple. And we knew about that when we start renovating these gates, taking the layers, the outside layers out. We found all of these blocks inside, which is cut into pieces, smashed into pieces, had a very beautiful decoration. We collecting them, we call them talatat. We collected them, and that's helped in reconstructing some of the shrines, which is built by him, and that's how we know about Akhenaton. There's still many secrets not being revealed about Akhenaton.
Still, we need to know more about
There's still many secrets not being revealed about Akhenaton.
So it seems we will talk about Akhenaton also in our coming episode. And finally, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Samir Abbass, Egyptologist. Thank you for being with us today.
It's my pleasure to be with you.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure having you, Mr. Abbass. Looking forward to next week, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And by the viewers, we come to the end of today's edition of The Breakfast Show. Stay tuned for more is coming up on Nile TV International.
Thank you, Shireen. Thank you, dear viewers.